Hello everyone, how are you today? It's Kay. So this is the 20th of March 2022 and this is on Sunday. So I will do a weekly forecast today on the Forex pairs and gold, WTI and index. And then I will review the news for this week. So let me get ready quickly because I just came to this desk and getting ready still, so sorry. Please, take a break and for a couple of minutes. Let me get ready. But while I'm actually getting ready here, I was actually speaking with my wife just before this live stream starts. I'm actually speaking with my wife about 10-20 minutes and talked about the difference in hospitality in Japan and Dubai. And sometimes, whenever we go to restaurant, sometimes, the worker there doesn't really pay attention to the customers, and no matter how many times I call them, no one, cares and, took time for order, or after we order, takes time, maybe sometimes 10 minutes or 20 minutes until the order comes. And it has been happening since I came to Dubai. Not every time. Some workers are good, but some workers are like kind of, I don't want to say lazy, but the hospitality level in terms of that is not really satisfied. And sometimes we get stressed. So that's something that we were talking about with my wife. And we're still looking for a good place, and the food itself is good. The food is very good. I enjoy the food. And we like to stay here in Dubai in general, but it's just a different culture. So I just wonder how you feel if you have traveled in different countries. Maybe you have experienced something different culture, different behavior of the workers in these restaurants and shops sometimes. But it's about a small topic. I think I will talk more about that on my second channel. But that's something that I was talking with my wife. Okay, so let me start now. Okay, all right, I'm ready now. Okay, so let me start. So let me change the screen. Okay, let me adjust my frame. Okay, so once again, thank you for joining, everyone. Good to see you as always. And as a quick disclaimer before starting here, this content is all for educational purpose. So when you take trades, please do with your risk management. And since this is live, if you can please follow the rules and guidelines, that would be great. Because after all, we're all here to learn. And also, we have recently many fake accounts of mine and scammers out there. So please be careful in case if you see any Telegram or Instagram, Facebook, or direct messages through under my name. These are basically all fake, so just be careful. Okay, so let me say hi to everyone first. Thank you for joining, everyone. Good to see you. Oh, it's a Cal. Thank you for joining on my Ichimoku community. And also, let's see, Butha also. Thank you for joining. Thank you for rejoining my Ichimoku community here. So once you click the join button briefly, because I got this question also many times. Briefly speaking, please come to my homepage, my web page, and hover over services, Ichimoku community, and click on how to join. Please click on how to join, and then you can actually follow the simple 3 steps to join the Ichimoku community Discord, and you can get all the perks in there. So if you don't know how to join, or if you have some troubles or issues, please write me an email and I can help you. But thank you for joining on my Ichimoku community here. Recently, I released the Kyushu Ashi book in the community. And I did a book review yesterday, and I will continue to talk about new strategies of Ichimoku. So yeah, this learning is never ends, basically. All right, so yeah, Libor and Dirk, Lukman and Sajid, Carbon, Nasser, Alex, and Sai, and Peter, Mahardika, and Oluwat, and let's see, Arnold, Arro, and TikTok. Thank you for joining, everyone. Augustine and Mahardika and Dorkaism. Thank you for joining. Arcadis and William, Clint, Jason, Marcus, Verti, and Renato and Mahesh, Melanie. Thank you for joining also. And thank you for your time stamping as always. A video and Mahesh, Nguyen, and Gary, Eric, Movie Hero, and Carol, and Eric on my way. Thank you for joining. Christo, thank you for joining us also. All right. Okay, Marcus and Val, Blackwater. Oh, so many members today. Thank you for joining. John Hera. Yeah, everybody, thank you for joining. Okay, so now let's start. So let me switch to trading view. Okay, oops, here. Let me try to fit this in page so that you can see the full picture. Okay, so first I will cover these Forex pairs on my watch list. So basically I cover from top Euro USD all the way down to Swiss franc JPY. And I will split the window into two. And on the left, I place the weekly chart. And on the right, I place the daily chart. And give you the analysis in what's coming this week. Okay, let me try to fit this also in page. Okay, so starting from Euro USD. On the weekly chart, it has been downtrending still, and the market is below Tenkan-sen, so it's bearish. But one thing is that there was a doji candle, and it's about to break the doji bullish, and it may retrace back to Tenkan-sen or Kijun-sen on the weekly. So the doji high was in price level, it was 1.11195. So once the market breaks that level, it may turn bullish. In the daily chart, that is actually on the Kijun-sen. So when you see Kijun-sen breakout in the daily chart, you don't want to look for the buy chance. You don't want to look for the sell chance anymore. But for now, this is bearish. So I will just mark this one Euro USD, and I will continue to monitor Monday because it might still go down afterward in the long term. And the next one is Euro AUD. Euro AUD is now flat and ranging. Unlike the Euro USD, weekly chart Kumo flat, Kijun-sen flat, and you see the Kumo very tiny. And this is losing momentum, and also a Chikou span below candles. So technically it's bearish, but it may retrace back to Kijun-sen in the weekly chart. And when you look at the daily chart, this is also flat now. You see the Senkou span A retracing backwards, and Senkou span B flat, Kijun-sen flat. So although for the last 3 days has been bearish, it might retrace back to Kijun-sen. So most likely I will stay away in this pair. And the next one is Euro Pound. Euro Pound has been bearish, and it has been resisted by the Kijun-sen. So gradually it's going down on the weekly. And in the daily chart, it's range. So in this one, I would wait until the market, in the daily time frame, the market comes below Kijun-sen, and Chikou span needs to be below the candles. And then I look at the lower time frame and follow the downtrend. Otherwise, it might continue to be ranging, or it may turn bullish. But at this stage, we're not sure which way it's going. So most likely, I stay away from this one also. And the next one is Euro JPY. Euro JPY was very active. All the JPY pairs and AUD pairs were active last week. But Euro JPY on the weekly has been ranging still. Kumo flat, Kijun-sen flat. Chikou span still very close. And in the daily chart also, Kijun-sen flat, Tenkan-sen down, Tenkan-sen is up, Kijun-sen is down, Chikou span touching. So this is ranging. So both time frames are ranging, so I would most likely stay away. Or if the market continues to be downtrending on the daily chart, then I might look for the sell chance in the lower time frames. And the next one is Euro CAD. Euro CAD is in the weekly is bearish because the market is below the Tenkan-sen. And the Kumo bearish, Kijun-sen now flat, and Chikou span below candles. So if I see the daily chart start to be downtrending, I look for the sell chance. But in terms of the daily chart, just like I marked on the weekly, in terms of the daily chart, this is a P wave. P wave means lows are higher and highs getting lower. And this is basically called a P wave. And I would wait until the market breaks P wave towards either direction. I mean, if it breaks bearish, I think that will be a continuously downtrend. I look for the sell chance. But if it breaks bullish, then it may retrace back to the weekly Kijun-sen. So either way, I wait for the breakout and look for the trading opportunity. So, but EuroCAD overall is bearish on the weekly, so I expect on the daily P wave will be broken bearish continuously. And the next one is Euro Swiss franc. Euro Swiss franc is ranging on this weekly and ranging in the daily chart also. So weekly chart, starting from the weekly, Kumo flat, Kijun-sen flat, but Chikou span below candles. But one thing is that in terms of price action, the previous support now becomes resistance. So it might continue to be downtrending here. But at this stage, we can't tell because Kijun-sen flat, so it may retrace still back to Kijun-sen on the weekly. So what I'm waiting for right now is I watch the daily chart, and if the daily chart continues to be downtrending, then I will follow and look for the sell chance. But if it starts bullish, then I won't trade on this one. And since this is Swiss franc pair, usually the lower time frame becomes very spiky and a bit spread usually wide. So most likely I stay away from this one. So now let me move on to USD based pairs. So next one is USD JPY. Yeah, USD JPY has been strongly bullish for the last 2 weeks. Kumo up, Kijun-sen up, Tenkan-sen up, and Chikou span above candles on the weekly. So no doubt this is bullish in the weekly chart. And in the daily chart also, it has been bullish. And I expect this uptrend will be continuous because Kumo is not really thin in the daily chart, but rather the Kumo is getting thicker in the daily chart. And there was a gold cross above the Kumo. So along the way, there might be some retracement, but in the long term, this is bullish in my eyes. So I will continuously look for the buy chance on USD JPY this week. So the next one is USD CAD. USD CAD on the weekly is now ascending P wave, and I expect the market breaks bullish and breaks resistance of around 1.2902 level, but still technically still ranging. So although I see the ascending P wave on the weekly, it may take a couple more weeks or a couple more months for the breakout. So in that sense, I still stay away. And in the daily chart, this is range now. The market has been flat and ranging, Kumo flat, Kijun-sen flat. So no actions most likely this week. And the next one is USD Swiss franc. This one is also very tricky. Kumo is up and Kijun-sen, Tenkan-sen up on the weekly. But if you look at the price action and Chikou span touching, and there was a long wick pointing upwards, and that was a pin bar. So there's a big resistance in this area. So this week, the market might turn bearish or might be range. And in the daily chart, it's retracing back to Kijun-sen. So once it touches Kijun-sen, at this stage, we are not sure if it will be supported or that will break and it goes back to Kumo. We can't really tell in this situation because the previous spike were very aggressive. So most likely it will range in my opinion in this price action. But yeah, for now I will just stay away from this also because we see other better trending markets right now. So the next one is pound base pairs. So starting from pound USD. Pound USD is nicely bearish on the weekly chart. It broke the previous support level of 1.3154 level, and Kumo's going down, Kijun Sen Tenkan Sen going down, and Chikou span below candles too. So market is now retracing backwards, but it may be resisted by the previous support and continuously be downtrending. So in the daily chart, without touching the Kijun Sen, I expect the market turns bearish again. So simply I wait until the Kijun Sen turns bearish and look for the sell chance. And this might happen this week. So I will continue to monitor pound USD. Yes, I will cover the Dow Jones and oil after I cover this Forex. So please bear with me for a couple of next minutes. Okay, so now the next one is pound JPY. The pound JPY, I'm actually still expecting the market breaks resistance of 158.24, but still it's ranging now. This is called box range in Ichimoku, where you see the market has been up and down through the Kijun Sen. So the market is bullish now, but since Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat, and Chikou span is very close, this week or next week, there might be some retracement and the market reverses back to Kijun Sen. In that case, in the daily chart, it will look like this, and somewhere in this part, in the 4-hour chart or 1-hour chart, we might see downtrend. So I will follow the downtrend in the lower time frames and target to Kijun Sen on the weekly. That will be my strategy. But if it breaks, if the market breaks resistance, then I will look for the buy chance. But for now, we're not sure if it happens or not this week. So most likely I will stay away or I will continue to monitor whichever happens this week. So next one is pound CAD. Pound CAD is nicely bearish now. So I will look for the sell chance. First, the weekly chart is bearish, Kumo's down, Kijun Sen Tenkan Sen down, and Chikou span below candles. And in the daily chart, this is also bearish, Kumo down, Kijun Sen Tenkan Sen down, and Chikou span below candles. But one thing just to make sure is that this Kumo on the weekly is a bit too small. So along the way, there might be some retracement. And also in the weekly, there's a doji candle. So to be safer, we want to wait for the doji break to sell. So this week, I would wait for the breakout of 1.6537 and then look for the sell chance. But I will just mark this one also because this is nicely downtrending too. And the next one is pound AUD. Pound AUD in the daily chart has been bearish, and on the weekly it's about to break the previous support level, 1.7732. So after this big double top and neckline breakout on the weekly, now this is bearish. And in the daily chart, Kumo Senko span AB flat and Kijun Sen flat. So to be safer, we want to wait for the breakout of the support level, which is again 1.7737 or 32 level, and then look for the sell chance. Otherwise, it may be supported and retrace back to Kijun Sen. So just be careful. In this case, we have to wait for the candlestick break, and candlestick close becomes below the support in the daily time to be able to look for the sell chance this week. But yeah, so pound AUD, I will mark this one also. I will watch this one. And the next one is pound Swiss franc. Hang Swiss franc has been ranging on both time frames. Weekly chart is ranging and it's marking double bottom here on 1.2103, and it's not really going down anymore. And in the daily chart, it's all flat, Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat, so simply I will stay away. When I look at this market at a glance, I stay away completely. The next one is AUD USD. AUD USD is a bit more bullish on the daily chart, and it's about to break the resistance of 0.7446 level. So when it breaks, I look for the buy chance. But on the weekly chart, it's flat, so it may still be in a range in the long term. But yeah, I will only look for the buy chance in the daily time. And the next one is AUD CAD. AUD CAD, I have been away from the market because in the weekly, there is a Y wave. Y wave means in Ichimoku, its highs are higher and lows lower. So this market is very tricky. And Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat, Chikou span touching on the weekly. So not really a good market to be in the trade. So although the daily chart looks to be bullish and it might break the resistance, soon it may retrace backwards because this is Y wave. So when I see Y wave on the weekly chart or the daily chart, then most likely I will stay away from this one. But AUD-JPY is better, so I will focus on AUD-JPY, which is this one. You see the weekly chart has been strongly bullish, and daily chart is also strongly bullish too. So AUD has been the strongest currency among all the pairs, and JPY currency has been the weakest among the all currencies. So as a pair, AUD-JPY, this is the most volatile last week. And the market is reaching towards the previous resistance, which was all the way back in 2018. So it may retrace backwards when it reaches 88.99 or the run number of 89. When it reaches the 89 run number, it may reverse. So to be safer, I would wait for the breakout of that level and look for the buy chance. Or I will wait for the market reverse and bounce on this Tenkan Sen or Kijun Sen on the weekly, and then look for the buy chance in the daily chart or the lower time frames. But since it's still bullish, I will continuously look for the buy chance. So yeah, AUD-JPY, I will mark this one. And the next one is AUD-Swiss franc. AUD-Swiss franc has been bullish on the daily chart, but on the weekly, its range, Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat, Chikou span still too close to the previous candles, and the market is on the resistance. So if you are thinking to buy on AUD-Swiss franc, just be careful because it may reverse. It may reverse backwards in the daily chart. So if you want to trade on this one, you have to wait for the breakout on the daily chart or the weekly resistance and look for the buy chance. But since this is uptrending on the daily chart, I will mark this one also. And the next one is CAD-JPY. So CAD-JPY is also bullish because of the strong CAD and weak JPY. It broke the resistance and it has been bullish now. On the weekly chart, Kumo is bullish and Tenkan Sen, Kijun Sen bullish, and Chikou span above candles. So, and there was a breakout of the resistance. So this is when you think you wanna buy, but for me, you better stop buying because if you look at the daily time frame, this Kumo is too thin, like a thread. The Kumo is too thin, and when you see this, the market is overshooting, overbought market right now. So the market soon might retrace backwards, and my expectation is the market retraces back to the previous resistance level, 93.02, and then bounce and goes upwards. Or in the daily chart, it retraces back to 93.09 And when it retraces, most likely it touches the Tenkan-sen and bounces and goes up this way. So if it happens, you can look for the buy chance, or you can take a buy and put the stop loss below the Tenkan-sen. But unless it happens, I think that will be a bit, you have to be a bit cautious buy in this market. But yeah, since it's bullish also, I will mark this one. And then the next one is CAD Swiss franc. CAD Swiss franc is also bullish on the daily chart, but range on the weekly. And also in the daily chart, almost too thin. So the market needs to consolidate to be able to continuously be bullish. So yeah, this one I won't mark because on the weekly it's range. And the last one is Swiss franc JPY. Swiss franc JPY is also very similar to CAD JPY. Weekly is bullish, but in the daily chart is too thin Kumo, so it has to retrace. Most likely it will retrace backwards to the previous resistance on the weekly, which is 127.11, and then goes bullish along the way. So when it retraces to that level, most likely the market will bounce on the Tenkan-sen in the daily chart and then goes up this way too. So this is the overall analysis on the Forex pairs. So once again, if you are joining late today, once again, Euro USD is bearish on the daily, weekly, so I will look for the sell chance continuously. And Euro CAD is also bearish in the daily. Expect the market breaks P wave bearish and look for the sell chance. And the USD JPY is bullish right now, so I look for the buy chance. And Pound USD is bearish on the weekly chart, so in the daily chart, it may retrace back to the previous support level 1.3272 and then goes backwards bearish, and then look for the sell chance. And Pound CAD has been bearish on both time frames, so I look for the sell chance. And Pound AUD is also bearish and waiting for the breakout of the support level 1.7737 and look for the sell chance. And AUD JPY is bullish both time frames, but the market may retrace, so I will look for the buy chance continuously. And AUD Swiss franc is also bullish in the daily chart, but there was a doji, so, and also weekly resistance on 0.6933. So better to wait for the breakout of the resistance on the weekly and look for the buy chance. And then CAD JPY is bullish on both time frames, but because the daily chart Kumo is too thin, the market might retrace backwards to the previous weekly resistance and then bounce and goes up. Or the market retraces back in the daily Tenkan-sen and bounce and goes up. And then lastly, the Swiss franc JPY is also similar to CAD JPY. So that is the overview of Forex pairs. So now let me move on to gold and oil, WTI. So XAU USD, gold on the weekly chart is still bullish and the market is still supported by this Kijun-sen on the weekly. So from here, potentially it turns bullish. This level was also the previous resistance, so it may turn bullish from here also. But in terms of the daily chart, now this is range. So if you want to buy, the market first should have to be above the Kijun-sen, and Kijun-sen needs to point upwards, and Kumo needs to point upwards to look for the buy chance. Or you can look at a lower time frame like forward chart, and if forward chart turns bullish as it goes bullish, then you can look for the buy chance. So in the long term, I think this is still bullish on gold. And the next one is WTI. WTI retracement was so heavy last week. The market retraced all the way back to the almost like previous support, broke the Kijun-sen very strong, and now this is range. It's range on the daily chart, but similar to gold, the market is also supported by the Kijun-sen in the weekly. So in the weekly basis, still this is bullish. So in the long term, it might turn bullish. But if you want to buy, just like gold, the market should be above Kijun-sen, and Kumo Kijun-sen should turn bullish to buy. So the next one is index. Let me cover index, starting from Nikkei. So for index, I will only pay attention to the weekly time frame. So the Nikkei recovered so quickly last week, but still this is bearish because still the market is on the Tenkan-sen now, and Kijun-sen down, and Kumo itself is also down. Chikou span below candles, so this is bearish. But as it retraces backwards, Kijun-sen most likely will be flat, and Kumo becomes flat, and then the market retraces back to Kijun-sen, and when it really breaks bullish, that's when the market potentially had to be bullish on the weekly chart. But at this stage, this is still bearish, so not a good timing to buy in this case. So next one is US 30 Dow Jones. Dow Jones also recovered quickly last week, but still this is within the Y wave, and its range because Kumo is still, flat, Kijun-sen still flat, and Chikou span touching. So we can't really buy yet. We can't really buy. At least we have to see the next bullish N wave on the weekly chart, and then buy will be okay. But at this stage, this is still bearish N waves, so it may turn bearish anytime. So not a good time to buy yet, in my eyes. And the next one is Nasdaq. Nasdaq is also recovered so quickly last week, but this is range, and I think this is better than Dow Jones. This is because this is range. Kumo flat, Kijun-sen is a bit bearish, but this is more flat, and Chikou span is retracing back to candles now, and the market is within the Kumo, and it broke the descending trend line. So Nasdaq is recovering much better than Dow Jones on the weekly chart. And also there is an outside bar. This is an outside bar. So if next week candle close becomes above 14459.8, then the market might recover bullish. So to be safer, we want to wait for next week candle close and then decide to buy or not. And the next one is S&P. S&P is also similar situation to Nasdaq. It broke the descending trend line, and now it's turning range now from bearish, and this is also outside. So let's wait until next week candle close becomes above 4477. If it does, then it might continuously be bullish. So that is my view. So so let's see. Next one is Euro stocks. Euro stock is still ranging now in terms of Ichimoku because Kumo flat, Kijun-sen flat, and market is within the Kumo. But for the last 2 weeks has been bullish. So and there is no engulfing, there is no outside bars here. So we simply monitor, and we have to wait until the next N wave, or at least the market should break the Kumo to be able to buy. And next one is FTSE 100. Yeah, FTSE 100 is also bullish now last week, and this is also this is actually stronger than other index. Kumo is still bullish. It hasn't twisted yet. This is still bullish, and the Kijun-sen flat, but the market is above the Kijun-sen now, and Chikou span above candles. So technically, this is bullish. So I think this is better than other index. So from here, it might turn bullish also. So it's either you wait for the next N wave to buy or simply wait until the market breaks the resistance 7695.15 to buy. And the next one is CAC France. CAC France is ranging still. This is not really bullish, unlike FTSE 100, because Kumo is just twisted bearish, and the market is very close to Kijun Sen and Chikou span touching. So from here, we can't really say it's bullish yet. So at least the Chikou span should break the candles, and market comes clearly above Kumo and Kijun Sen to be able to buy or look for the next N wave to happen to buy on the weekly chart. Next one is DAX index. DAX is a range also, or a bit bearish in that sense, because Kumo is bearish and the market is within the Kumo, Chikou span below candle still. So this is bullish for the last 2 weeks, but the topic is whether the market breaks the previous support level, which was 14846.6. Yeah, if it breaks that level, then it might turn bullish. Otherwise, it may be still resisted and continuously go down this way, or range market in the Kumo here. Next one is Nifty 50 chart. The Nifty also recovered last week, and it came above Kumo, but still this is range, and this is not a good time to buy it, because the Kumo is flat, Kijun Sen flat, and Chikou span below candles. So we have to wait until Chikou span comes above candles to buy. So, but otherwise, it may be range still. It may be range, or it may still be bearish. In terms of price action, this is still bearish in wave. So it may turn bearish in wave still. So we have to be careful in this one. Not a good time to buy it, in my opinion. And then AU 200, Australia 200. This one is also ranging, Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat. Market is above Kumo, but Chikou span still touching the candles. So yeah, once again, you have to wait for the Chikou span break and then look for the buy chance. And expect the market breaks the resistance, 7661.4 level. And lastly, Hang Seng Index. Hang Seng has been bearish, strongly bearish now. So last week was also bullish like other index, but you see the Kumo's strongly bearish, Tenkan Sen, Kijun Sen bearish, and Chikou span all the way below the candles. The Hang Seng Index is bearish still. Okay, so that covers the whole indices. So now let me talk about, let's review the news for this week. This week we don't have many news. But let me see. I think there are only 2 or 3 news, or 3 major news. Let's review. So Monday we have only China news, but most likely it doesn't really impact the market. And on Tuesday, in morning Asian session, there will be a AUD. In Australia, there will be Governor Low speech, so that can be affected by this. The Wednesday, on the 23rd, there will be Consumer Price Index in UK, and then chair speech in US. Technically, on Thursday, 24th, in Japan, there will be policy meeting. So this is the most important news for this week. JPY, 24th of March. And then in Germany, there will be services PMI. And then Swiss franc also. In Swiss, there is a policy meeting too. And then PMI composite in Euro, and then services PMI in UK. So we have some news here. Durable goods in the US and non-defense capital in the US too. And in Friday, there is no big news. So most of the news happens on Thursday. So Thursday will be a big volatile market by these news. On Wednesday, Thursday, we have to be careful this week. So that covers the whole topics for today. So now let me check some comments now. And yeah, let's do some free discussion until the end of the live today. All right, but once again, thank you for joining, everyone. It's been a pleasure for me to be able to do this every day. If you can't participate, then I won't be doing this every day. So thank you for being supportive. Thank you for your participation as always. So yeah, let's see. Okay, thank you for joining, everyone. I do see many comments now. Great to see you. Okay. So let's see. John Harris says, I have been trading Harami. Do you think that's a good strategy based on when I find them on 4-hour chart and 1-hour charts? Yeah, that's good. That's good. The engulfing candle means the market continuously going towards the direction. So you can use that for your strategy. Yeah, but make sure that you have to also see other conditions by Ichimoku and other price actions, and you want to draw also lines. Yeah, the analysis should be holistic. You can't take engulfing breakout only to trade. You can't use only, let's say, Kijun-sen bounce to trade. The analysis should be holistic in different strategies. All right. Yeah, thank you for joining, everyone. Yes, great to see you. Thank you for joining. Marcus says, what's your opinion on hedging? Have you tried before? Hedging, no, I don't. I don't usually do that. Simply when the market reverses, I exit with a very small loss. Yeah. You're welcome, John Hera. Okay, good to see you. Thank you for joining, everyone. Mahal says, I would like to join your class group. Okay, but this time I can't cash out money, but I am ready to be a good student. Yes, whenever you can join, please feel free to contact me. Yes. Okay, let me check some other comments now. Val says, since I watch your channel, my trading capacity is getting better. I prefer a mentor like you, Sensei. Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for your comment so much. Yeah, because the only thing I can do is to share my idea, share my knowledge. So it's really you that have to practice and put it into trading. But yeah, it works for me at least. So if you faithfully follow my strategy, then it works for you also. But for sure, it requires practice. And there is no shortcut. KOM says, hello Kay, I watched an old video of you about Tokyo Box and you said some Japanese guy trade again against the trend. If up, they sell, if down, they buy. Is it still work today? Yes, because in Asian session, in Japan session, the market is ranging. There is no big trends unlike Euro or New York sessions. So they tend to scalp and they tend to buy against or sell against the major directions just to get a few pips in the market. So if you're a scalper, it works, but I don't prefer to do that. Yeah, it's not really time efficient. I prefer to be in the trade and trail as long as possible. So okay, I start to see comments about some pairs and markets. So for new joiners, let me now review again. Let me recall. what I found on these pairs. So Euro USD. Oh, hold on. On the weekly chart, I put on the left. On the right, I put the daily. So quickly on Euro USD, it's bearish. I look for the sell chance. And Euro CAD, this is also bearish. Look for the sell chance and wait for the P wave breakout in the daily time frame. And as for USD JPY, this is bullish, looking for the buy chance. And Pound USD is now bearish on the weekly, but flat in the daily. So I wait for the daily to turn bearish, look for the sell chance. And then Pound CAD is Pound CAD is bearish on the weekly, bearish on the daily chart. And waiting for the market breaks the support level and look for the sell chance. Pound AUD is also bearish on both time frames, but the market is flat in the daily, Kijun Sen and Kumo. So I wait for the market break support level 1.7737 and then look for the sell chance. And then AUD JPY is bullish, but the weekly Kumo is very thin, so the market may retrace backwards and then retrace backwards and push back and buy in the daily time frame. And AUD Swiss franc is range in the weekly. It's resisted by the weekly resistance, but in the daily chart it's bullish. But since this is Swiss franc pair, the market might be resisted on the weekly resistance and retrace backwards. So to be safer, I wait for the breakout and buy afterward. And then CAD-JPY, the weekly chart broke the resistance and it's bullish, but since daily Kumo is too thin, it should retrace backwards to Tenkan-sen and then bounce and goes up this way. So I'm waiting for the bounce to happen on CAD-JPY. And then in Swiss franc JPY also, same situation as CAD-JPY. So waiting for the retracement to happen and then look for the buy chance. And in terms of gold, let me see. In terms of gold, in the weekly chart, still bullish because the market is above Kijun Sen. Last week, the market was supported by the Kijun Sen, supported by the previous resistance. So my view is still bullish this way. But in the daily chart, the market is below Kijun Sen. So this is range now. So I wait for the market to come above the Kijun Sen. And Chikou span should continue to be bullish and wait for the Kijun Sen up and Kumo up to buy afterwards. If it doesn't happen, then simply I continue to stay away from this market. So that's the overview. Okay, so let's see. Muchino Frank says, I'm still holding my buy at AUD-JPY 80 pips thanks to your KTS strategy. Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. Yes, you have to follow the trend along the way. Okay, let's see. Oh, Bitcoin. Okay. Gail says BTC USD. All right, let me check the Bitcoin. I don't trade the cryptos, but let me see. Let me take the daily time frame. In the daily time frame, this is still, this is weekly. Weekly chart is range now. Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat, Kospan touching, so it's range. In the daily chart, this is still ascending P wave. So I expect the market goes bullish in this ascending P wave. And Chikou span has been touching the candles. And there is a minor double bottom here on the daily chart. So once the market breaks the neckline of 42,594.7, then it could go up to the resistance 45,535.0 is my view. Okay, so yeah, let me continue to cover some other comments for the next 5 minutes or so until the end of the live today. Okay, let's see. Arnold says, in what timeline you exit when the Kijun Sen and Kumo goes flat? So when the Kijun Sen Kumo goes flat, after the market in reverse. Like here, the market reverses backwards and Kijun Sen goes flat and Kumo goes flat. And when I see this market reverse, I basically wait for the retracement in the lower time frame. Let's say, if I see in this case, there's a doji breakout, and a Tenkan-sen break, and that will be an exit timing. Because it may retrace continuously back to Kijun-sen. In this example, it didn't retrace back to Kijun-sen, but there's a potential retracement back to Kijun-sen. So when you see this, I would exit, and if it continues to be downtrending, I re-enter the market. Yeah. Okay, Milos says, how do you find confirmations for entry after news? Confirmations for entry after news would be simply by looking at the markets, and I just follow my strategies and look for the entry chance. But I don't enter right after the news. Usually after the news, the market still spiky and spread still might be very wide. So I wait for 30 minutes to 1 hour until the market settles down and until the market decides which way to go, and then I look for an entry chance. Okay, Milos says also, I've been observing that it usually retraces after moving after big news. Yeah, it might retrace. Whenever there's a big spike, it tends to retrace. In that case, we have to wait until the market settles down, until the market also starts to see the bullish or bearish market to be in the trade. Okay, Arcades says, thank you for the expert analysis, Kason, and your teachings. I'm slowly improving. Okay, that's good to hear. Yes, so please continue to practice and see markets in these manners. Ichimoku lines, and then price action, and then drop down to the lower time frame and look for the confirmations to buy or sell. Yeah, just because the market is bullish, you don't want to buy because it may retrace backwards soon. So we have to always look for the confirmations to buy or sell along the way. Okay, let's see. Oh, Geraldo, thank you for the comment. You're welcome here. Clint says, K-sensei, I have an off-topic question about the music you used for this live stream. What's the name of that theme you always use? Oh, you love this music background? Yeah, I don't have the name. I don't have the name, and I got this music a long ago, and I can't remember where I got this one. So yeah, and when I saved it, it doesn't show any name. Like it's like numbers in the file. So I don't know the name of this music. But yeah, I'm glad that you like this background music. Yeah, I like this type of music when I relax. When I trade, I never play any musics. But when I relax, I play some music's background. So whenever you trade, make sure that no one's around you, no distractions, and ideally, you want to have an isolated environment, no music to take trades, even no smell. I don't put any smell in the room when I trade. Because sometimes we get biased for smell and the taste and these, 5 cents. We have bias towards these, our sense. Like when you see colors and candlesticks, red means stop, green means to go. So when you see green candles, you might be too aggressive. When you see these consecutive red candles, you might feel stop selling it. So that's why I don't use colors in my candles. In this live stream, I put the colors in blue and white to explain so that you know which one's bearish, bullish candles. But if I analyze my own, I put all the white candles and do this myself. So I eliminate the colors as much as possible in the chart to eliminate the bias. And I have no smell. I don't put any music when I trade. When I focus, when I want to focus, I usually do that. But when I want to relax, I use these. I use music and smell. I love the smell. I love the perfume also. I like these colors also in the pictures. So, yeah. Okay, I think that's it for today's live stream. Okay, so once again, thank you for joining. It was very nice to meet you every day on this YouTube channel. So, yeah, so most likely from now, I will be eating a dinner and yeah, just take a rest and get ready to trade for this week. But so for the last 2 weeks has been very volatile, especially AUD and JPY and CAD has been reactive. But make sure that the market may turn anytime. It may be range suddenly, or it may change direction suddenly this week. So always prepare this mindset and take trades as long as you see the trend directions you follow. But whenever you see the retracement, simply you exit and stay away. Because we can't really expect the market directions, just like the weather in the mountain. So I hope you have a great rest of the weekend and see you on the next one. So until then, please stay healthy and stay safe and stay gold. Right, bye for now. Mata ne. Thank you.